Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Infected Survivor here, back at it again with another video. Today we are continuing the series of the character reviewing in Garden Warfare 2. Today we're going to be sticking with the plants, and we are going to be reviewing the first pea shooter, being the Ice Pea. Now, the Ice Pea is an interesting character that we'll get to in this video. But as this is the first pea shooter class, I will give a little brief overview of the abilities. Now, the abilities that I am currently using are the abilities I personally think are the better abilities for a pea shooter class overall. I think the beam bomb is all down to preference, which one you use. I think they're all equally as good, the regular chili bean, the sombrero, and the dark beam bomb. So I think that is all down to preference, but personally these are the ones I like to use. So yeah. So today is the Ice Pea, as I've already said. So we're going to get straight into the review. Ice Pea is, in my opinion, I don't know really with Ice Pea. It's a decent character, but I personally don't really like this character that much. I remember when I was ranking him up. He was one of the first characters I did, so I was really low level when I ranked him up. So I haven't played this character in a long time. But I always remember really disliking the Ice Pea, and saying to myself that I would probably never go back and use him again. And to be honest, when I hit max, I never really did. So we're picking up again today for the review. But overall, I don't think he's a bad character. Obviously, he's got the ice effect that'll freeze you over a set period of time with a few hits, which is it's pretty good. It's useful. Now, his character is the Ice Pea is quite good overall. His damage ain't the worst. It's quite hard to judge the damage on a character like this because it kind of changes for all the distance, close and range. I think the splash is something like 10 damage splash, and I think the max hit is 25-ish. I'm not too sure. From all the way, didn't even hit the splash. So 16 from all the way over here, and that's without splash. That's okay. That isn't too bad, but are you really going to be trying to cross-map someone with an Ice Pea? No. So you're probably going to end up being mid to close range with a character like this. I do think the freezing aspect of this character is quite nice, because it does help in quite a lot of situations where if you are maybe going to lose the fight and you just forget the freeze off, you can get 2-3 hits in for free, which could really change the fight to swing to your favour. But overall, the damage is okay. The fire rate's decent. It's not the quickest in the game, but it ain't the worst. And like I say, the damage is decent enough to make this character pretty usable. Again, he's a pea shooter, and I don't think any of the pea shooters are bad, to be honest. I think they're all quite usable. But let's take him into Team Vanquish now, and let's test him out in this match. Now, like I just said, I don't think any of the pea shooters are necessarily bad, or completely unusable. So Ice Pea's no different to that. I do think he's a usable character. He's definitely not one of my favourites, and I don't think he's upper band. He's definitely lower band of pea shooters. I would say along with probably like Rock Pea. So yeah, if it was a pea shoot that I would recommend, it wouldn't be this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the splash at 10 is good, the freezing is fairly quick. And obviously you've still got all these cheesy abilities. You can do this, which is bunny hopping. It's pretty, and that right there, that is why Ice Pea can be quite good, because they also got froze there, which meant I got, what was it, like 2 or 3 hits in for free, where he just couldn't do anything. So that was a really good thing with Ice Pea. I just personally prefer like toxic damage or fire damage over the freezing effects, to be honest. So that could be why I don't necessarily like this character. But I don't know. I don't know what it is with Ice P. I don't think he's necessarily a bad character. I just really didn't enjoy ranking him up when I did him, which has meant I haven't tried him out since, to be honest. Like 25 damage ain't bad, but there is definitely higher damage out there. Like you've just got so many better Ps in this class, in my opinion, like Toxic P, Plasma P, Agent P, Electro P, Reg P, Law P. The list goes on. This character is just one of the worst P shooters, which doesn't make him unusable as such, but it just makes him a bit like, if you're going to use a P shooter, you might as well just use a different one over this guy, because there are definitely better out there. So yeah, it's not that I think this character is necessarily awful and unusable. Like, avoid this character totally. It's just I just think there's so many better P shooters. Like, I'm pretty sure Fire P does similar damage to this guy. So it's like, would you rather fire or ice? And I would rather the fire. Same with Toxic P. It's just like, I would prefer the toxic damage personally. Toxic P probably has a bit more splash as well. So this guy's splash, like the radius of it, isn't awful. It's not as good as some of the other Ps, I don't think. But it ain't the worst. Like 10 splash with freezing ain't that bad. But again, it's like, I suppose it's more preference, whether you'd prefer toxic or like fire, or just any of the other P shooters in general. And for me, it's that I just prefer all the other P shooters over this guy. Not Rock P. I would put this guy over Rock P, but even then, it's not that much difference. Yeah. Obviously, you've still got all the cheesy abilities. Like, you've still got P Gatling, you've still got the Hyper, which just creates a very annoying playstyle. But it's there to use, so you might as well use it. And then you got the beam bombs, which again are very good things for getting kills, to be honest. I'll try and show you if I can do it. I can't always do it first try. There is a little bit of a tech that you can do with P shooters with beam bombs and hyper combined that just sort of sends you flying across the map. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. I can't always do it first time. You pretty much go into hyper. You drop your beam bomb. How I do it, I just sort of spam X. I just sort of spam the button, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't exactly know how you do it. I'll try and show you in the lobby after we go over the upgrades on him. But I just think with this character, you're going to be getting, like, because, I don't know, the way I played this character is I sort of sat in the back, well, how I play P shooters even, I sort of sit in the back, get a bit of the splashing, unless I'm playing, like, you know, Law P or whatever, but most of them I just sort of sit in the back, get a bit of the splash damage, and get the odd direct impacts here and there, and get the kills that way, or oftentimes shares, but with Ice P, I just feel a little lax with that. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's just because his splash is a lot less, or what. I'm not too sure what it is with this character. I just don't think it's very good. In terms of upgrades, though, he looks like he gets an ice, ammo, and reload. And obviously all the others with health. Again, I would personally not recommend using a health upgrade on this guy. I don't think there's a point. So I would run these 3 upgrades when you unlock them. I think the ice upgrade really helps this character. I think that's the biggest problem, is when you don't have any upgrades on him. Without ice upgrade, I do think this character's a lot worse, just because the freezing time takes a lot longer to do. Which is probably why I did not like him at the start. Because obviously this is an ice character, so you'd hope he would freeze, but without the upgrade, it just takes many more shots and more splash, it seems. So most of the time you're not even freezing people without the upgrades. But in terms of this hyper tech with the beam bomb, like I say, you pretty much go into hyper, you deploy the beam bomb, but it's like the same time you do that, you just spam X. I'll try and show you here. I don't know if I'll get it off, but you've probably seen it before. Okay, I did do it. So that right there is pretty much a useful tech to know, especially in like turf, to get you around the maps quicker. So I think it's quite well known, that one, and that's a reason why I use the Dark Beam Bomb. Actually, that is a good point to get on. The reason I use Dark Beam Bomb over like the Sombrero or whatever is because I get 2 of them. So when I do that tech, I pretty much do that every time I spawn in. Or try to, at least. I always have 2 attempts, so usually I at least get it on the first or second attempt. Whereas if I only had regular Beam Bomb or Sombrero, it does still work with them. It's just, I just prefer it with the Dark Beam Bomb, because if I do mess it up first time, I still have another chance to do it. So that is a little cheeky tech to know with a pea shooter. It's not really that beneficial, but it does help you get around the map quicker. So, yeah, there you go. Little thing if you did not know that already. And I don't know what it is with this Ice P. I can't put my thumb on it. I just don't like this character, to be honest. I think he's not a good character at all. I am just really not a fan of him. I did not like ranking this guy up. I hated ranking him up, to be honest. He's up there with probably top 5 least liked characters from me, personally. I'm not the biggest fan of pea shooters in general, but Ice P is certainly not one that I've replayed again. I just think pretty much every pea shooter, maybe besides Rock P, is probably better than this guy. So overall, I probably wouldn't recommend this pea shooter to anybody that isn't pretty much going for specifically ranking up to max. If you're not bothered about max rank, I mean, you give this guy a go, but I'd just use another pea shooter, to be honest. He's just not the best. He's really just not the best, in my opinion. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion. Feel free to give him a try, but I do not think he's very good at all. There are many better pea shooters than this guy. So yeah. So that will probably do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed my review on the Ice P. Might be being a little bit harsh on the Ice P potentially. But as I say, I don't like this guy at all. So yes, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new and would like to see more. And if you do have any suggestions, then please do leave them in the comments section below. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.